Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary Rules Editor for the NCAA. And today we're continuing our series of training videos for 2024, and we're going to be focused on game action from week 2. Now, it was another good week for our technology, coach-to-player communications, and our tablets on the sideline. It was very solid, but we have continued learnings that will apply going forward. And we've received a lot of questions about targeting. So let me first say to you as an official, player safety fouls are so important. We have to be very good there. And as far as targeting, so far we've been good. We have had 37 players in FBS that have been disqualified for targeting in 178 games. So that's 0.21 targeting fouls enforced in every game, or maybe better said, 1 targeting foul for every 5 games. But we can't let up there. We've got to do a great job here. This number is slightly down year over year through week 2, and that's good for the game. But let's continue to do our job around targeting and all player safety fouls. The second area I want to talk about is unsportsmanlike conduct. We're doing a good job, especially around celebration activity. If players cross the line, we need to get the marker out. We know that if it's choreographed or it's demeaning to the game, that's a penalty and we want to get the marker down. But on taunting fouls, anything directed at an opponent, no latitude, we want to penalize taunting every time. That is so important for our game. And then finally, I want to continue to encourage you to talk about end of half, end of game situations in your pregame conferences. We really have to be good in end of game situations. That's what everybody remembers. That's how we'll be remembered from that game. So let's do a great job there and communicate well during that time. So with that, let's get on into some plays. Our first play this week, the offense is going to punt from their own 42. We see that the receiver's in place to make the catch at the 12. He's going to muff the ball. A kicking team player deflects the ball as he's attempting to recover it, and the ball rolls back into the end zone. It's a free ball. There's a big scramble, and we ultimately determine that the receiving team player recovered the ball in their own end zone. But we see some hesitation from the crew. So what is the ruling? Many thought this might be a safety, but as we know, the impetus imparted by the kick, it's a punt in this situation, is responsible for the ball's progress. And even though the ball was deflected, it's still a kick. And since the receivers gained possession of the kick in its own end zone, then the play results in a touchback. And that's what we rule. We know that if the kicking team player had recovered in the end zone, it would have been a touchdown. But this play was properly ruled a touchback by the crew and not a safety. Good job. Play 2 is going to be a 2-play sequence at the end of the first half, and you could probably make a full training video out of this. But we see that the offense snaps with 7 seconds left in the second quarter. They throw a pass down the middle of the field. The ball is caught. The clock runs out. But the crew on the field, the back judge is coming in. They're going to determine that they're going to put 1 second back on the clock. Now remember, if replay would have reviewed this, we would not have put time back on the clock since we would have to have 3 seconds remaining since the clock would start on the referee's signal. But the crew on the field can put the 1 second back. Now we see that 2 players of the defense, for some reason, they're going to fall out. And we're going to stop for an injury timeout. And based on our new interpretation from Bulletin 2, we're inside of 10 seconds. We had a first down inbounds. We have an injury. So there's a 10-second runoff opportunity here. But clearly the offense is going to decline the runoff, so the clock is going to start on the snap. So the offense sends their field goal unit out as expected, and now we are not ready. The back judge, he has to take off running for the goalpost, but then finally we get the attention of the field judge. Not sure what they were thinking, but we're finally ready. They kick the field goal, it's good, but the umpire has a flag down for personal foul, contact against the snapper. It's a correct call, as we see the defenders did not let the 1 second elapse before they made a contact with the snapper. So it's a good call, and the offense now can take the 3 points off the board, penalize 15 yards, and we extend the quarter with an untimed down. Or, and what they selected here, they can carry the personal foul over to the succeeding second half kickoff. So a lot going on this play, except not being ready on the field goal. Good job by the crew. Play 3, the offense has first and goal. They're snapping inside the 10. We're going to see the quarterback, he drops back, he throws for the far boundary. It's complete to number 80, who's open, and he drives into the end zone. But we see a flag come in from the side judge for offensive pass interference. Now, as we go back and take a look at the replay, we see that the outside receiver, who is the side judge's initial responsibility, he's going to come back toward the ball. He's going to block the player in coverage, springing the receiver open for the catch and subsequent touchdown. Now, it's a good job by the side judge staying with your initial responsibility here. When they flash back to the middle, especially near the goal line, we have to have eyes on that player. Now, the officials are going to come together. They talk the play through. And as we go back and take a look, we see that the snap is from the 7-yard line and the ball is caught just behind the neutral zone. And we know by rule to have a foul for OPI or DPI that the pass must cross the neutral zone. So clearly here the receiver touched the ball behind the neutral zone. So we're going to pick the flag up. There's no foul for offensive pass interference because the ball did not cross the line. So this is a good job getting the marker down by the side judges. He does not have the depth perception to determine where the ball is first touched, but great crew communication to wave the foul off. Play 4, we're late in the fourth quarter, the score's tied. The quarterback, he's going to take a very deep drop. He throws long, and the receiver makes the catch and is down inside the 10. Now, we see the quarterback celebrating the play, but he clearly turns his attention to the opponent's bench and is taunting the visiting team. This is clearly an unsportsmanlike act, and the crew does a good job getting the marker down. And we know this is a dead ball foul that'll be enforced from the end of the play. We'll back up the offense 15 yards, and they'll have first and 10. So there is judgment that we allow in celebration. We don't want to be overly technical. We know when the players go over the line or if they have actions that are demeaning to the game, we must get the marker out. But anytime we have taunting action, then there is no latitude for taunting actions. Officials must get their marker out whenever a player taunts their opponent. This was a correct call. Play 5, we're late in the half. The offense has made a first down inbounds with 18 seconds remaining, and the clock is stopped temporarily to award the offense a first down. Now, we know that the clock is going to start back on the referee's ready for play signal, and the offense wants to spike the ball, but as we watch the play, we know that there are two caveats to the spike rule. Number one, the spike is illegal if it doesn't occur immediately after the passer controls the ball. And it's illegal and considered intentional grounding if it's thrown after the ball has already touched the ground, which is exactly what happened here. Now, we get a good announcement by our referee.
The quarterback picked up the ball after it was in the ground and then spiked it. That's intentional grounding by the quarterback.
And as noted in the announcement, since the pass is after the 2-minute timeout, and is intentional grounding that stops the clock, is subject to the 10-second runoff. So the clock is reset from 15 to 5 seconds, and it's going to start on the referee's ready for play. Now, we know that the offense, they're out of timeouts here, but if they had a timeout, they could call one to avoid the runoff. But good job handling this play by the crew. Play 6 is a kickoff early in the game. Now, we see that receiver number 28, he indicates with the T signal that he's not going to return the ball, but the ball's going to hit the ground in the field of play and bounces straight up. And we know this is a live ball, and we see number 28's teammate, number 21, he's going to alertly recover the ball, turn upfield where he's downed inside the 5. Now, good coverage by the headline judge to make this ruling. And we know that the rule states that the kickoff, untouched by the receiving team, touches the ground on or behind the receiver's goal line, the ball is declared dead and results in a touchback. And as we see, this ball hits clearly in the field of play. It bounces straight up. Now, if the next bounce, still untouched by the receivers, would have come down on or behind the goal line, it would have still been a touchback, but as kicking team players were bearing down on the ball, number 21 made the decision to recover and try to advance. And so it's an alert play by him, but really good coverage, really good judgment on where the ball lands here. Really good job by the crew. Play 7 is a play we've discussed from our past bowl season, and we're going to see the quarterback here. He comes on a down-the-line option, and at the last moment is going to pitch the ball backward, and he's hit hard in the helmet by number 34 of the defense. So the question is this a foul? And as we discussed, the quarterback here is not a defenseless player. Even though he delivers a backward pass and then he's hit, he's running a down-the-line option. He could turn up at any time. So he could only become defenseless if he totally gives himself up, and he didn't do that here. So since the quarterback is not defenseless, the only targeting we could have here by the defense is a 9-1-3 targeting with the crown of the helmet. And as we see here, the defender, he's going to keep his head up, his eyes are up, so the contact is not with the crown of the helmet, and so we have no targeting foul here. And really, this is good judgment by the crew not to get the penalty marker out. Our last play this week, the quarterback, he's going to drop back to throw downfield, and the pass is going to be incomplete. But as we go back and take a look at the replays, and we're going to look at the hit on the quarterback, we see that the defender, he really doesn't lower his head. He keeps his head up, and there's no crown of the helmet hit here. He doesn't lead with the crown, and really there's no indicator of targeting by the defender. So this is a good no call for targeting, but when we have this type of contact to the head of the passer, we definitely want to get a marker down for roughing the passer. And we need to do a good job of always evaluating any contact to the head of a defenseless passer. And if it's this forcible, we need to get the marker down for roughing the passer. Well, that's it for our plays this week. Overall, our first 2 weeks' performance has been very solid, but as we know, our games now begin to pick up in intensity, and we must be ready when we walk through the tunnel. So remember, quality fouls, make it be there, nothing technical. Make sure that we use excellent communications with our coaches, players, and our fellow officials. Always use your winning words. Concentration, so important, especially as we get late in the game. We've got to be at our best there and display our integrity, courage, and poise. That is so important on and off the field. And above all things, let's keep hustling.